Okay, so this is my review of the Gyros Tools quarter-inch fine threaded, so 20 thread per inch, high-speed steel die that I bought from Home Depot in the context of getting my router rehabilitated. So I bought this router. I bought the router that came with this manual, which was printed in 1976, December 76 here. I bought it for 20 bucks, and it ran. I cannot get the collet bit loosened, so I cannot get the collet nut loosened, so I can't change the bits. And the other issue I had with the router, which has been rectified, is this is I don't have the router. This is the router hand attachment, and this is the attachment for if I was routing along an edge, or I reversed the route along a circle. See this piece? I fabricated that piece. Well, I didn't fabricate it from stock. I bought steel stock and I threaded it with what is called a die from a tap and die set. Okay, and let me take this off here. So basically, I went to Home Depot. I bought a quarter-inch of aluminum. Yeah, so basically, I only had one of these bars that came with the router. I assume that's the original one that I got when I paid 20 bucks for the router. It was missing one bar. I bought the other bar. But let me go. Apologize for this all being off camera. But basically, yeah, I took a length of aluminum bar. I think there were 3 feet, maybe there were 2 feet, and I threaded this part of it with a tap and die. I also threaded this end, but I threaded the wrong thread count, 20 versus 28 thread per inch. So when you go to Home Depot, basically, and you buy screws or bolts or whatever, unless you go look in the specialty drawers, you will end up probably with if you get a quarter-inch thick bolt, it will be threaded at coarsely, which is 20 threads per inch. If you go look at the automotive, if you go look at the grade 5 or grade 8 bolts, which you'd use for automotive applications, you'd end up with 20 threads per inch. How do I know this? Well, because and how is this forever burnt in my memory? Well, basically, I knew what a tap and die set was. So basically, taps are special drill bits for drilling, taking a hole and putting threads inside a hole. And threading dies, like this or that or that, there are several sizes, are basically for cutting threads into rods, outside of, exterior threads. So, I went and I bought the only set. There were 2 sets available from DeWalt at Home Depot in store. There was, and they looked like this. They had these hexagonal shapes. I believe they're 5/8 of an inch. They're just shy of 3/4 of an inch, along the sides, and they come with this little wrench, and they're perfectly fine for aluminum. Except they only come with the coarse threaded quarter-inch. They come with a number 6 and number 8, a coarse and fine threaded number 10 screws, and then they switch, after number 10, they switch to quarter-inch, they switch to fractional inch measurements for the quarter-inch size over there. And that was all great and well, and I threaded part of this, and I realized the threading was the wrong thick. It was coarsely thread, and that my router required that little hole over here required a. Let me get this. Yeah, so that's just a finely threaded hole. Finely threaded holes do hold more than coarsely threaded holes. I don't know how necessary, if that was just over engineering because it was 1976, but that's what I needed. I went through great antics. I went on Craigslist, because tap and dies are expensive, and I said, oh, a nice made in Japan set for only $35, which I spent basically over an hour driving. And I'm sure this was an okay set when it was new, but basically it was really dull. I can use these for fixing up. You're supposed to use special, another set of dies for fixing threads. But you can use dull cutting threads for fixing threads in most applications. You run the risk of losing the nickel coating if you're dealing with like nickel coated things. But these were 1-inch round dies, and they let me go to the HomeDepot.com website and buy this brand new Gyros die for $10. It's not available at any stores as far as I can tell. You have to order it online, but you can order pick up in store. Take the excuse me, while to get there. One thing to notice about this die. So most dies, and my camera is not zooming at all. Camera zoom is okay. There we go. So if you see on this side, the threads come very close to the top, whereas on this side, actually, wait. No, actually, on this side there is a little bit of an indentation on the top part, where on this side the thread ends level with it. So basically what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to always start threading on this side because of the indentation. This helps you like get the initial grip, and you'd flip over the back. Let's say you were threading and you wanted to, let's say you were threading this rod over here and you wanted to thread all the way up to the top, right? You wanted to get that last 1/8, 1/16, whatever it is, an inch, right? So you would thread it all the way through, you'd take this apart, then you'd do this, and you'd use that to get the last piece. The gyros tap, on the other hand, if you see this side, both this side and that side are tapered. They don't seem to be tapered as drastically the other one, but that just might, I don't know, I don't think that's intentional or anything. But basically, what that does mean is you probably get twice the life out of this, because the first thing, the dullest part of a die, because of the nature of how they use, is going to be the first cutting edge. The rest of it, you know, won't get that dull. So you get twice the life out of this. At the same time, if you ever need to thread something all the way to the very end, you can't use this. However, I'm sure just use, you know, have another die for going all the way to the end. You can use a dull, once you have something threaded all the way through, a dull die will cut once it's guided. You know, you get a little more life out of the die the other way. The other thing that, so this is high-speed steel. So this is made in China. We all know that, you know, China's quality control is not the greatest. However, this claims to be high-speed steel. So there's carbon steel and there's high-speed steel. High-speed steel is just another better grade of steel. High-speed steel drill bits are always going to be better than carbon steel drill bits, unless they're lying to you. You know, in theory, unless quality control is really, really bad, a made-in-China high-speed steel die will last longer than a snap-on, you know, carbon steel die. You know, unless all other things being equal. I mean, there could be the way things are sharpened, or, you know, things could be hardened to really poorly or whatever. Basically, high-speed steel is a better raw material, and so a high-speed steel die, even though it's made in China, was $10. I expect this to last, you know, longer than a carbon steel DeWalt die. Okay, now this was $30 for a set. The big compromise here is a lot less metal, smaller sets of dies. This is 1-inch dies, which are standard dies. You know, this will, you know, since I happen to have the wrench, I already paid $35 for that set that didn't work. I had the wrench to use here. The other cool thing is these 1-inch dies are a little more standard, and you can get some pretty cool, if you look at garage sales, some ratcheting dies. Now, you only turn a die like a 1/4 inch, and then you have to turn it backwards to basically cut the shreddings that you cut into. You have to go backwards to basically force the die to cut off the shredding, then you go forward. But ratcheting does help you, especially in those initial cuts. Once you have it going, like you just, you know, you can just do everything with one finger. You know, once you're in like a 1/4 way in, you know, once you have 3 or 4 threads, then, you know, it's just a matter of you know, don't overturn and use lots of lubrication. But anyway, I was cutting in aluminum. So this is aluminum stock. This is probably the easiest metal in the world to cut a thread in two at slow speeds. Aluminum is very easy to work with. There's some issues, for example, with drilling or any kind of cutting where you have to worry about it fusing, getting too hot and fusing to your drill bit or saw blade or whatever. We don't have to worry about that when we're manually tap and dyeing. If you're generating any amount of heat, you're doing it wrong. But anyway, this is super forgiving. So I had no problem with this. I had no problem with the DeWalt set either. I highly recommend the DeWalt set as a starter set if you just need those sizes. Just make sure that, hey, I need a 1/4 inch coarse threading before you do that. Yeah, I would definitely say if you're doing aluminum, definitely buy this. I think this would perform, okay with a harder metal. Obviously, tap and dies, using metal to cut metal, you absolutely get what you pay for. Buying a more expensive set. As far as buying the Snap-on tool truck sets, I believe Irwin makes those, so just get the Irwin sets, and you will get the same quality without the Snap-on warranty. And you get basically the same casing. Everything's the same except they just, rebadge it. But yeah, $10 for this set if you happen to have the one. It's $10 for a single die for the size you need. If you happen to have a 1-inch set, I forgot how much the starter set is for. But yeah, if you happen to have a wrench for a 1-inch tap and die, if you happen to be able to pick up an old rusty set, and as you need ones, order the Gyros ones if you can wait for them. You can also go, I believe you can order directly from them. Probably get better shipping options than ship to store from Home Depot, but it was ship to store is free. Yeah, and the other, one final. See how this is slotted over here? This is a standard feature for most good round dies. There's a little screw here. You can more deeply, or you can make the threading basically deeper or shallower. I use the default setting. Sometimes there might be a need for changing that. I don't know when that would be. Maybe I would start out, making it shallower if I was doing, like if I was cutting titanium or something, to do multiple cuts. I keep the default setting, but that's to me a sign of I mean, it's a feature that might be useful to some. To me, it's a sign of quality that they would include that feature. But yeah, I highly recommend. I would definitely recommend this. This is absolutely good enough if you're doing aluminum. I don't know about other materials, but I would say yeah, it's worth $10. Give it a try. It's made in China, but it seems to be worth it if you're okay with buying made in China stuff. Thanks for watching.